Then I watched the House of Hammer, and then I said, "What? Why are you laughing?"
It's still funny to me that that's presented as a documentary.
So tell me what I.
I mean, there's all kinds of weird things that happened before it came out when they were making it. You know, the producer cherry picking or asking people, "Do you have a lascivious story?" Like, it's almost like they knew what they were trying to make before they set out to make it, which feels less documentarian than I think the genre requires. Also, there were 2 women interviewed in there, one of which was a girl who I did date for a couple of months, scooped up, brought in on this adventure, and then things ended poorly. I don't need to get into why it ended poorly, but there was behavior that I started to notice that I was just like, this actually isn't someone that I really want in my life. So I left. And then got a series and pages of text messages basically saying, "I'm going to destroy your life. You have no idea what I'm going to do to you. You just watch this and that." And I had no idea, but apparently that's when she started working with the documentarians and all this and that. And then there was another girl in the documentary who I've never even met in my life, like never seen her in person in my entire life. And she's on the documentary saying that I was abusive to her. So, and then of course my aunt is the other person. My Aunt Casey, who has been estranged from my family since I was born. I've never spent time with my aunt one-on-one in my life. And she was on the documentary saying, "Well, this is the real Armie. I know who he is. He's a monster, this and that." I don't know my aunt. Like, we're not close. We never have been.
So I believe that there is probably we are in a world where sensationalism sells.
Yeah.
And people, and I'm not. I'll tell you the one little switch that I went, holy shit, was the one girl that I think she's represented by Gloria Allred. Do you know who that? Rafi? What's her?
F. Yeah.
Effie.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. She shared text messages where she said she agreed to do whatever she was going to do, and then she's in her text she says, "I was trying to escape and trying to get away," and you weren't acknowledging that.
Yeah. Her whole side of the whole thing is very convoluted, obfuscated, but
you're answering her. You're on the text.
But you're only seeing one side of the conversation. So none of her messages are in any of the text messages that she released. She removed her side of the whole conversation. So you're seeing me respond to things that she has said that she has taken away. So it's digitally altered, which makes it inadmissible entirely in court.
That's why there's no case.
That's why there's nothing, because you're not seeing the whole picture. So they go, "We don't know what to do with this. This is not a complete picture of what happened."
It's scary for everyone.
Yeah.
It is really scary. And to be totally, I do this podcast with my daughter, with Jackie, and we watch it together just because we were watching everything. We watched all the movies. We were watching everything. We started turning that on. We didn't turn it off, and she got uncomfortable. She said, "I can't be here today."
Yeah.
But I said, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I want to, I don't know that, in this cancel culture that we live in, even if you're 100% wrong, there is, even if it did go to court, and it didn't go to court, but if it did go to court, you would have a defense.
Sure.
I haven't heard that side.
Sure.
I have not heard that side. I only heard that there is nothing. But to hear it from you is probably important. And is that what you are, is that the journey that you're on right now? Is that the...
I feel like in a way, I feel like I have presented everything that I need to present. I did a very big sit-down piece in a magazine called Airmail, and I sat down with the journalist, and he asked me questions for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then went through and, excuse me, did all of his own independent research as a journalist.
Right.
And his takeaway was that there is nothing here. There is no fire where this artificial smoke is. And he really went on to lay out the details, the timelines. He did all of that. And he came into it with a very neutral stance. And then after talking to me and after seeing sort of everything presented, he was like, okay, I think I know what's going on here. And that's what he laid out in his whole thing.
That is great to hear.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that. I believe that everybody.
I'm sorry that Jacqueline was uncomfortable. I get it. I mean, look, like it's a very inflammatory thing. And,
It is.
And I realize that my presence does make people uncomfortable. I mean, we see it here. Your daughter didn't want to be here. And that's okay. Like, I get it. I feel badly that I still have a thing about me that makes people uncomfortable. And it's tough for me because there is an aspect of it where I'm like, this isn't real. Like, this whole thing is not real. And for people to think something about you that you know isn't true, it sucks.